Have you ever seen a Rolls-Royce in person? If yes, what sprung to your mind right after laying your eyes on it? Well, let us guess. Bespoke craftsmanship, elegance, grandeur, ultimate luxury, one of a kind, and you name it. These are just a few descriptors that barely scratch the surface of what lays ahead. Luxury finds a new edge with Rolls-Royce, but its backstory is not a tale of luxury. One of the core founders of Rolls-Royce, Henry Royce's motto was, "Strive for perfection. Take the best that exists and make it better. If it doesn't exist, create it." This ethos is evident in every hand-assembled detail, precisely engineered component, and exquisite design element that will leave you awestruck. Rolls-Royce isn't just about making cars, it's about creating works of art on wheels. Take the 2023 Rolls-Royce Spectre, for example. It starts at £330,000, but with endless customization options, the price can soar into the millions. Each Rolls-Royce is more than a car. It's a masterpiece of engineering and design, showcasing unparalleled excellence for those who appreciate the finer things in life. As one of the oldest and most prestigious brands, Rolls-Royce has been delivering luxury cars to the elites for over a century. Owning a Rolls-Royce signifies affluence and commands respect, no matter where you go. For instance, the beloved Mr. Bean, aka Rowan Atkinson, proudly owns a 2011 Rolls-Royce Phantom Drophead in a North Shore blue shade among his multi-million-dollar car collection. It cost him nearly £400,000. Also, it's no secret, the biggest celebrities love the nicest and smoothest rides out there. In fact, famous people usually own a model of every luxury vehicle. No wonder several actors, athletes, singers, musicians, and beyond own Rolls-Royces. Most of them pay extra money to get their Rolls-Royce cars customized with the best equipment and individualized features. For example, the celebrity duo Jay-Z and Beyoncé owns a custom-built blue Rolls-Royce convertible, which is rumored to be valued at over $28 million. Plus, big-name celebrities like Kim Kardashian, Jennifer Lopez, Lady Gaga, Justin Bieber, David Beckham, Gwen Stefani, Shaquille O'Neal, Simon Cowell, and many more own various models of Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce is all about perfection. Their top-tier clients demand it, so every detail is meticulously checked, like making sure no water drops are left on mirrors. These cars are treated like precious gems, with a dedicated team making sure every inch is flawless. It's impressive how much care goes into each one. Say for reference, the Rolls-Royce Droptail. La Rose Noire, priced at $30 million, is the most expensive new car ever made. With an eye-watering price tag, only 4 Droptails will be made, and each will have a distinguished custom creation with its own bespoke style and name. Also, maintaining their top status has never been easy. It requires attention to detail like no other. This dedication involves numerous tasks to ensure everything meets the highest standards repeatedly. While talking about this brand, you might notice their iconic logo has evolved over time. In 1906, the first Rolls-Royce logo was composed of the brand's iconic emblem, which was placed on an ornate coat of arms. By the 1930s, Rolls-Royce focused more on a simplified style of logo with 2 Rs. The color palette was switched to monochrome from red, which reflected the brand's professionalism and authority. One of the most iconic logos was introduced in 1911, featuring the Spirit of Ecstasy. Its badge, in light grey, dark blue, and white, symbolized sophistication. Today, the Rolls-Royce logo has evolved to be even more refined. The classic double R monogram is rendered in sleek black serif font against a crisp white background. It perfectly embodies minimalism and elegance, don't you agree? Moving on, if you turn the pages of history, you will be shocked to know that this top-notch luxury automobile brand has the literal story of coming to life from rags to riches. The company, which is now worth $7 billion, was founded by Henry Royce. He was a boy who grew up in poverty with minimal education. Born in 1863 to parents who ran a struggling flour mill, Henry faced hardships early on. By 1867, the family business failed, and it forced them to move to London in search of work. At just 4 years old, Henry started working. But what did he do at such a young age? Well, that small kid scared birds on a farm for a few cents a week. Tragedy struck hard when Henry was only 9. Unfortunately, his father died and put more pressure on their financial struggles. Instead of attending school like other kids, Henry worked full-time by selling newspapers and delivering telegrams. He just earned mere cents per delivery. Eventually, Henry's mother was unable to support her children. She had to send him to live with an elderly couple who were also struggling financially. Many of the days, Henry's meals consisted of only bread soaked in milk. No doubt the challenging beginnings were tough times. But, later on, Henry's perseverance enabled him to start his first million-dollar company with just £20, and eventually founding Rolls-Royce. By age 15, he had only completed 1 year of formal education. His aunt tried to help by covering the small fee for an apprenticeship with the Great Northern Railway Company. This required Henry to relocate. Although his aunt managed to pay for the apprenticeship, she couldn't afford his housing. Fortunately, he moved in with George Yarrow, whose son was also an apprentice. George tutored the boys on tool use in the evenings, which Henry found captivating. He spent hours practicing and soon began crafting brass model wheelbarrows in the Yarrow's garden shed. Though his formal education was limited, Henry's manual skills and work ethic stood out. At 17, Henry started working for a tool-making company in Leeds, which earned him just 1 penny per hour. Later, he moved on to the Electric Light and Power Company in Liverpool. Henry Royce outworked his colleagues. He often skipped meals to focus on electronics. After doing various jobs and saving diligently, he managed to afford night classes in electrical engineering at the City and Guilds Institute. These classes equipped him with valuable skills. By age 19, he secured a job as chief electrician for the Maxim Western Electric Company. However, in 1884, the company was closed, which left him unemployed once again. But Henry was determined to change his fortunes. He decided to start his own business rather than seeking another job. He believed there had to be more to life and aimed to achieve wealth and success. To do this, he sought help from his co-workers and his friend Ernest Claremont. Claremont was an engineer and agreed to join him. Together, they founded F.H. Royce and Company in 1884. At the time, Henry had just £20, while Ernest had £50. They pooled their savings to launch their business, which began with manufacturing electric fittings. They rented a building on 1A Cook Street in Manchester and lived in a single room above their shop. The two struggled financially and often lived on mere sandwiches to save on food costs. Against the odds, 2 young men faced a tough road in business, but Henry Royce was determined not to be swayed by doubt. He put in relentless effort to make sure his products stood out from the rest. Their first major success came with the electric doorbell, which sold faster than they'd hoped. With their earnings, they branched out into new products, starting with generators and eventually developing an electric crane. Each year brought new products and increased profits. By 1897, they had £6,000 in orders, which grew to £20,000 the following year. By 1899, the company's share capital was £30,000, which is equivalent to over $1 million today. Before working on this ambitious project, Henry and his business partner Ernest Claremont decided to focus more on their personal lives. After becoming financially secure, they both married sisters, Edith and Minnie Punt. This turned their business partnership into a family connection. The success of their first company in electrical goods allowed Henry Royce to pursue more ambitious mechanical projects. At a time when few people owned cars, Henry developed a keen interest in automobiles and bought a used 1901 2-cylinder French car. It was in terrible condition and wouldn't start, but by the next day, Henry had it running. He didn't stop there. He kept improving the car and fixed every fault he found. Eventually, Henry decided to build his own car rather than continuously fixing others. In 1904, He custom-built 3 cars and named the model Royce 10. The first car was for himself, the second went to his business partner Ernest, and the third was sold to a man who was so impressed that he introduced Henry to a car dealer named Charles Rolls. When Charles Rolls met Henry Royce, neither could have foreseen the phenomenal journey they had ahead. Despite their vastly different backgrounds, Henry, a rags-to-riches story, and Charles, who had everything handed to him, they both shared a deep passion for cars. This unlikely partnership led to the creation of the iconic Rolls-Royce brand. Henry's mechanical genius and work ethic, combined with Charles's business acumen and resources, worked wonders for a company that would redefine automotive luxury. Charles Rolls was born in 1877 to the first Baron and Lady Langattock. He was always fascinated by mechanical objects, hence earning the nickname Dirty Rolls from his friends. He attended Cambridge University for mechanical and applied science. After graduation, he worked on a yacht and then for the London and North Western Railway. Charles was among the first in the UK to own a car. In fact, he had a photo from 1896 showing him in his Peugeot phaeton, which he bought in Paris at 18. His passion for cars led his father to fund a car dealership, C.S. Rolls & Co., where he imported French cars for English customers. Charles had a reputation in the motorhead community and held an unofficial land speed record by driving at 83 miles per hour. It was an impressive feat at the time. Charles competed in the 1903 Paris to Madrid race, where 34 drivers and spectators died due to poor visibility and crowding on the roads. In addition to his love for fast cars, Charles was an avid aviator. He made over 170 hot air balloon flights and became the second person in Great Britain to own a pilot's license. He later completed over 200 flights in a Wright Flyer aircraft. Charles's privileged upbringing and taste for luxury contrasted sharply with Henry Royce's background. When Charles first met Henry, he hesitated to appreciate Henry's 2-cylinder vehicle. He preferred 3- and 4-cylinder cars instead. In December 1904, Charles Rolls and Henry Royce launched Rolls-Royce. It started an extraordinary partnership between 2 completely different individuals. Henry Royce came from a background of poverty and worked hard for every achievement, whereas Charles Rolls was younger, more privileged, and had many advantages handed to him. They actually had a 14-year age gap, Charles being 27 and Henry 41. Yet, their combined skills created a powerful synergy. In 1904, they introduced their first vehicle, the Rolls-Royce 10 HP, at the Paris Salon, which is known as the Paris Motor Show now. Priced at £395 each, which is equivalent to tens of thousands of dollars today, the car was an instant hit. Only 16 of these were produced back then, and one of these models was sold at auction for £3.2 million in 2007. Their second model, the Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost, was released in 1906. It featured metal parts coated in silver and aluminum. To demonstrate its superior engineering, they staged a stunt by placing a cup of water on the running engine. The water remained perfectly still, which indicated its quiet operation. The Silver Ghost was hailed as the best car in the world and remains highly valuable even today. Fast forward to 2005, one of these was insured for $35 million. As Rolls-Royce gained prestige, Charles tried to persuade Henry to develop an airplane engine because of his passion for flying. Henry declined and preferred to focus on cars. Eventually, Charles resigned as technical director to devote himself entirely to aviation. He favored it over driving, and as he put it, "There are no policemen in the air." In 1909, Charles Rolls acquired a Wright Flyer, marking a significant milestone in his aviation journey. The following year, he made history by completing a non-stop flight across the English Channel and back, earning the media's acclaim as the greatest hero of the day. Tragically, Charles's promising career came to a sudden end in 1910. During an air show, under severe winds, he pushed his aircraft beyond its limits. As he attempted to land, the plane began to break apart, leading to a fatal crash. Charles Rolls became the first Briton to die in a plane crash, a heartbreaking loss at just 32 years old. The following year, Henry Royce's health began to decline rapidly. Years of poor diet and insufficient rest had taken their toll. Confined to his home, Henry could no longer work at the factory. However, his passion for engineering never waned, and he continued to develop design ideas from his bed, despite his worsening condition. Even though Henry had previously resisted making airplane engines, he wanted to start production during World War I. In 1914, Rolls-Royce introduced the Eagle engine, which powered half of the Allied planes. That's how their aviation engine legacy began. By 1921, the demand for Rolls-Royce cars was so high that they faced a 3-year backlog. To meet this demand, they established a new factory in Springfield, Massachusetts. Within a decade, they produced 2,944 cars. Rolls-Royce is known for its commitment to exceptional quality, even if it means a longer production timeline. At present, Rolls-Royce still upholds its tradition of top-notch craftsmanship, with each vehicle requiring up to 6 months to complete. In 1930, Henry Royce was honoured with the Order of the British Empire and became a baronet. Despite his worsening health conditions, Royce continued to work until his death at 70. His last designs were sketched on his deathbed. This included a concept for an adjustable shock absorber that he sketched on an envelope the night before he passed away. He asked his nurse to send it to the factory, but he died before it could be delivered. The legacies of both Henry Royce and Charles Rolls go far beyond their lifetimes. Rolls-Royce remains a symbol of utmost luxury, which explains why Rolls-Royce Holdings has a market capitalization of over $48 billion as of July 2024, and Rolls-Royce Holdings' annual revenue for 2023 was over $20 billion. This is a clear picture of how far they have come in terms of creating a legacy of luxury worldwide, if you take numbers into account. Now that we've covered some of Rolls-Royce's rich history, it's clear why their cars are so prized. You might wonder why people spend so much on these cars. Let's get right to it and look at some of the finest examples. Take the 2024 Rolls-Royce Spectre, for instance. Real users say this ultra-luxury electric vehicle offers unmatched opulence and driving pleasure. After we explore these amazing cars, we'll talk about an exciting upcoming motor event. The Spectre, Rolls-Royce's debut electric car, is an instance of top-of-the-line design and engineering. From the moment you lay eyes on it, its imposing and elegant presence commands attention. With its signature flashy grille, sweeping silhouette, and the Spirit of Ecstasy hood ornament, the Spectre stays true to Rolls-Royce's prestigious heritage. Inside, the Spectre is nothing short of luxury. The cabin is adorned with exquisite wood trim, plush leather, and glistening metal accents, and it is the epitome of comfort. The Starlight headliner envelops passengers in a constellation of tiny lights. Driving the Spectre is an amazing experience. This vehicle is almost eerily quiet, while the ride is incredibly smooth. Powered by dual motors producing 584 horsepower and 664 pound-feet of torque, it accelerates with impressive power. Its acceleration is smooth and controlled as well. Range-wise, the Spectre offers an EPA-estimated 260 miles per charge. While this may fall short compared to some competitors, it is ample for the needs of most Rolls-Royce owners. There's no questioning, the 2024 Rolls-Royce Spectre stands out in the luxury electric vehicles market. If you have the means, the moment you start driving, you will realize why this vehicle is more than just a car. It's rather an embodiment of automotive excellence. Now, let's talk about something out of the blue. This is perhaps the most exhilarating and extraordinary collection car ever showcased. The Celestial. This masterpiece celebrates and draws inspiration from the night sky over Goodwood on January 1, 2003, when the first Phantom was delivered. The Celestial stands out for its unique craftsmanship. Inspired by the night sky, this car has a custom paint job with glass flakes for extra depth. Its roof lights up with over 500 stars, making it truly one of a kind. What sets the Celestial apart is its luxurious interior. Diamonds adorn the rear compartment, not to showcase wealth, but to naturally represent stars. This detail elevates the Celestial into a whole new price bracket, achieving the height of luxury. There's no doubt, creating a car decorated with diamonds portrays specialized craftsmanship. Rolls-Royce enlisted one of the UK's premier goldsmiths, named Richard Fox, for this exclusive project. Fox's workshop sets over 400 diamonds into the Celestial's interior. The process involves drilling holes into the door capping and inserting each diamond into an 18-carat white gold tube. This ensures they are positioned at exactly the same height. It takes approximately 350 hours, which is an extraordinary amount of time. The Celestial and similar collection cars are designed to inspire buyers to customize their own vehicles and boost the demand for bespoke cars. When it comes to the price, the starting price for a new Rolls-Royce is £200,000. But most customers spend an additional £50,000 on personalized extras. Options include exotic materials like ostrich skin, crocodile skin, and rabbit pelts. Additionally, walnut, elm, mahogany, and olive ash are transformed into interior parts. These materials are used for components like door tops, horn push buttons, and telephone drawers. The workshops are continually under pressure to develop new ideas to satisfy customers' demands. For instance, they developed a special color using real gold pigment, which would cost over £50,000 to apply to a car. Personalization at its best, isn't that right? Another outstanding example of Rolls-Royce's grandeur is the Cullinan. This is made with their vision of ultimate luxury and adventure. The CEO Torsten Müller-Oethvers proudly declared it as effortless everywhere, as it combines super luxury travel with the spirit of exploration. Launched in 2018, the Cullinan is Rolls-Royce's bold foray into the booming SUV market, standing out with a starting price near £300,000. The Cullinan is Rolls-Royce's first SUV, built on the architecture of luxury platform, just like the Phantom. It features a practical split tailgate and has a chassis that's 30% stiffer than previous models, ensuring a smoother and better handling experience. Externally, the Cullinan's design can resemble a London taxi. Others also see it as a mobile viewing platform with a warrior-like face, complete with laser headlights and a high bonnet. Inside, luxury abounds with coach doors, premium materials, and bespoke options. Unlike other SUVs, it's designed for those who value exclusivity and craftsmanship. The Rolls-Royce Wraith is known as the most powerful and dynamic Rolls-Royce in history. While the luxury brand traditionally excels in creating comfortable and hefty cars, the Wraith has a sporty twist. It has a widened rear axle, a shortened wheelbase, and a tuned suspension to minimize body roll and enhance cornering feedback. Also, it offers 4 finely proportioned seats, plush materials, and ample head and legroom. Starting at £250,000, the Wraith is often custom-made to the buyer's specifications, from colour-matched interiors to fibre optic star headlining. Though it may lag behind in some tech aspects compared to newer models, the Wraith provides an unmatched driving experience. Moving on to another classic now, the Rolls-Royce Phantom was first introduced in 1925. The latest model was launched as the clock struck midnight on January 1, 2003. Addressed as the last great automotive adventure, this Phantom may indeed be the final iteration of its kind, in an era transitioning away from internal combustion engines. The Phantom's new space frame structure is 30% more rigid than its predecessor, which improves the suspension and gearbox's performance. Its 4-wheel steering adds agility, while specially developed Continental tyres and extensive sound insulation ensure a serene ride. Priced from £360,000, this car isn't just a mode of transportation, it's an imperious experience. If you have the dream and the means to reward yourself, there's nothing better than a Rolls-Royce. Every car carries its own personality. When in the mood for speed, a Ferrari suits best. But for moments of relaxation, enjoying good music and solitude, a Rolls-Royce is second to none. Its presence commands such attention that that people always turn their heads, expecting a celebrity like Simon Cowell to be inside. Rolls-Royce is aiming to attract a younger market with the launch of a sportier model, the Wraith, which we already talked about. This car represents a new chapter for the brand, presenting a modern and edgy face while retaining its British charm. To promote the Wraith, Rolls-Royce chose Vienna for the international press launch. They invited journalists from around the world for a 24-hour immersion in the Rolls-Royce lifestyle. The prestigious Palais Coburg was exclusively transformed for the event. It featured lounges and a Wraith bar with a relaxed atmosphere enhanced by deep house music. No expense was spared as Rolls-Royce shipped 20 Wraiths for the event. They made sure every detail, including the parking alignment, was perfect. The journalists were taken on a meticulously planned alpine route outside Vienna, which showcased the Wraith's performance in a stunning setting. The event also featured notable guests, including former Miss Lebanon 1995. Her presence highlighted that Rolls-Royce is not just for men. Meanwhile, the assembly line at Rolls-Royce's factory was nearing completion of the Celestial, their most expensive car collection ever. Goldsmith Richard Fox had spent over 8 months working on the diamond-studded interiors. The process demanded perfection, with panels being rejected and redone multiple times to meet Rolls-Royce's exacting standards. Now, moving on to the ultimate auto extravaganza at the Dubai International Motor Show. It's the largest motor show event in the Middle East. It's held every 2 years at the Dubai World Trade Center. This most anticipated event showcases luxury cars, supercars, and custom vehicles. Motor enthusiasts, journalists, and even Dubai royalty gather at the Dubai Motor Show for a glimpse of the latest creations from the motoring world. This prestigious event brought together the crème de la crème of the automotive industry. Among the highlights was a speech by Thorsten Müller-Ötvös, CEO of Rolls-Royce, who hinted at a surprise for the attendees. In the spotlight was the Celestial Phantom, a stunning example of bespoke design featuring hundreds of hand-embedded diamonds. Müller-Ötvös revealed that the Celestial is the most expensive bespoke Rolls-Royce ever created, and it had already been purchased by one of their top clients from Asia. Despite the sale, the new owner allowed Rolls-Royce to display this masterpiece to the media in Dubai and maintain the brand's tradition of client confidentiality. While exact figures weren't disclosed, it's speculated that the price exceeded £1 million. A guest from the show remarked that no one would ever borrow a Rolls-Royce due to its highly personal nature. This sentiment was relatable to most of the attendees, as owning a Rolls-Royce is not just about possession, but a deeply personal experience. The car's exclusivity and the emotional bond it has with its owner make it a truly special vehicle. No wonder it's reserved for the most extraordinary moments. In simpler words, Rolls-Royce's dedication to craftsmanship and luxury is not to be trifled with. Each vehicle is an absolute masterpiece and is created with attention to detail that others can't replicate. Skilled artisans handcraft every component, from the finely stitched leather seats to the intricate wood veneers. This brand's bespoke program allows customers to personalize their cars to the finest detail to make sure that no two Rolls-Royce cars are exactly alike. Besides, the use of premium materials and innovative technologies makes the driving experience even better to transform every adventure. If you take Rolls-Royce's global presence into account, it certainly appeals to a discerning clientele that spans continents. From diverse Asia to the luxury enclaves of the Middle East, the brand's reach is extensive. Key markets include the United States, China, and the United Arab Emirates, where the demand for high-end luxury vehicles remains strong. These markets appreciate what Rolls-Royce offers. By 2023, more motorcars sold than ever before in Mark's 119-year history, as 6,032 Rolls-Royce cars were delivered to clients around the world, all including elements of bespoke personalization. Global sales presented a balanced picture, led by North America and China, and the year-on-year growth reported in regions including Middle East, Asia-Pacific, and Europe. The clientele often comprises influential figures celebrities, and business magnates who seek the status and comfort that only a Rolls-Royce can provide. With all things said and done, Rolls-Royce stands as an instance of elegance and superior craftsmanship. As we look back on the brand's storied history, we see a legacy built on innovation, luxury, and perfection. Henry Royce's philosophy: strive for perfection. Take the best that exists and make it better. If it doesn't exist, create it, continues to inspire the brand and its customers alike. As you consider this legacy, we want you to share your thoughts. So, what does luxury mean to you? How do you see the legacy of Rolls-Royce evolving in the future?